After today's dose of tech, stay tuned for an incredible call for my weekend show, The Kim Commando Show. And this is a conversation you're not going to want to miss. You've seen celebs and ads all over social for magic keto weight loss gummies that melt, burn, and dissolve the fat away. The folks on Shark Tank, along with Kelly Clarkson, Oprah, and Dolly Parton, say it helped them to lose weight in weeks. What's up with that? These so-called magic weight loss gummies, total sham. And those celebrity endorsements, deep fakes, AI tools, and clever Photoshop. If you buy these, you're going to find yourself trapped in an expensive subscription service that's a nightmare to cancel. These ads lure you in with testimonials, celeb endorsements, and made-up statistics. Next time you come across a product like this, ask yourself, would that celeb really endorse this? Have I ever heard of these magical weight fixes before? Is my health worth the risk? Remember, anyone can buy an ad on social, and the FDA does not approve supplements. Enter to win a $1,000 PC or Mac right now at commando.com/win. Here's an outstanding call for my weekend show. You're going to love it. Of course, my weekend show is called The Kim Commando Show. I know, some things in tech really make sense. Sue in Ocala, Florida. Hi there, Sue.
Hey, Kim, how are you? I wanted to ask you a question about something you had posted in your newsletter relative to the ideas of security and login information. And you had suggested to be fully secure, people should use either their fingerprint or their face print. And my question was, what do we do if that person passes away? And we can't access any of their financial information, bank accounts, etc.
Yeah, and we are all moving towards biometrics. We are, because let's just face it, we're all tired of 12 to 16 characters, upper, lower case, symbols, gang sign, whatever it may be. You know, you're just like, oh my gosh, make it stop. And then, the old joke is that, you set your password to incorrect so that this way when you get your password, says your password's incorrect. I mean, it's all these different things that people are trying to do. And so the whole idea behind the passkeys is that in order for you to open your phone, maybe open a new account, change a password, is that you're going to have to show some type of biometric, either your face or your fingerprint, to your phone. And then that will authenticate you to that site or service or app that you are actually who you are. But what if that person is no longer living among us? Well, that's where we get into what's called legacy contacts. And so Google has it, Facebook, Apple has it, Microsoft has it. A legacy contact is who you are going to say they will have access to your Apple ID when you pass away. Same thing with Google, same thing with Microsoft, Facebook, whatever it may be. In addition to that, it sounds pretty archaic, especially because we're talking about all this digital stuff. But, when my mom passed away, I was the exeter of the estate and the will. And of course, I was a primary caregiver. So of course it would be me and not my siblings, right? But one of the things that I found that was really nice is that my mom wrote everything out in details, right? Do this, do this, do this, give this to that, do this to that. And then the other thing that I found that was really helpful was a password book. I know, it's terrible to say, but it was a book of all her accounts, her numbers, and her passwords. Okay?
Yeah.
And so this way we're not relying on getting into system, two-factor authentication, and I had access to her email account and to her phone and and I was a signer on her Bank of America account, all that other stuff. So I know this isn't happy thinking, but it's a necessary conversation to have. Also, if you don't want to do a password book, a password manager, but just make sure that that person knows what that master password is. So this way you can get into all the passwords. But but if you can ever share an account with somebody, I think that's always the best case. And as her caregiver, I knew most of her passwords anyway, quite frankly, because she was so funny. I mean, like when I asked her, because she had to change all her passwords, and I said, what's your password? I don't get to tell you what the whole password was, but she fractured her hip. And so her password was hip crack. I'm like,
Yeah.
with all these numbers and exclamation points and all this other stuff. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. I'm like, of course your password would be hip crack, So does that answer your question?
Well, it does. I mean, as a review, I've already set up an Excel spreadsheet for, our daughter that has all of our passwords, and I update that almost every month. But you're saying that every major account, Facebook, et cetera, they all have a way for us to establish legacy.
Yes, legacy context.
Okay.
You know what? Let me do this. Let me write this up. Okay, I'll give this way. This one, I'll give you all the links, and we'll go ahead and put that in a newsletter. Do you get the newsletters?
Oh my gosh, I live for them. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
Absolutely.
Although I think my husband got mad because I put our text exchange in the newsletter.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but it was like he sent me like a text in all caps, like, "You need to call me ASAP." And then me, without thinking, I was at work. I wasn't even thinking. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was texting him on my computer. So I'm like, oh, I have to go get my phone. I think I left it in the truck. So I was like all getting up to go. And he texted me back. He goes, use the phone on your desk. The one with the handle. I'm like,
handle.
Yes. I'm like, oh, forgot about that one. So Sue, I'll write about it in the newsletters. And if you're not already getting our newsletters, sign up right now while you're thinking about it. Head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. 5 minutes or less every single day. You get TechSmart the easy way. I'm going to do all the hard work for you. And it's just fabulous. I mean, you get the tech news, security alerts, data breach alerts, you name it, and then something to make you smile at the end. And you can sign up over at getkim.com. Hey, huge thanks for tuning in, folks. And if you've got a question that's burning a hole in your brain, just drop me a line. Head over to commando.com, with a K, of course, and tap Email Kim. Yes, I do read every single question. Now, for tech insights you can't afford to miss, grab my free daily newsletter over at getkim.com.